Spaceship is ready to go.
It's already launched.
This is Sonia Barrett, and she is, word on the street, a mystic and a visionary. Would that be fair?
I guess so. I'm going to
Yeah.
roll with that. I
Okay.
think so. Yeah. I guess so. Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to get right to the coffee and UFO questions.
Oh.
First one, have you seen a UFO?
Oh, you went right to UFO question. Okay. Now I have to say that no, not in that manner. No,
Okay.
no. And I think it's simply because I don't really have like a major fascination with UFOs. Although, yes, I have seen, things that look like apparently ships. I live in California, and having gone to Joshua Tree, places like that, or even a SETI Ranch with James Gillen. I mean, going to certain places. So there's certain experiences that I've had that probably would qualify as that, but not a big deal to me. So I guess.
Yeah, when you were at the SETI Ranch, because we were there once before
Mm-hmm.
and had I wouldn't call it a UFO encounter, but a very bizarre nightly encounter with something creeping around the tent. It was very bizarre.
A lot of people have a lot of very strange things that happen over there around the tent.
Anything happened to you at all that kind of
Over there?
yeah.
I didn't have anything strange happen. No, I mean, except for, we sat around and looked at the sky. But I really, and it's been a while, but I guess I would remember. I didn't really have any weird thing other than the vibe now of a lot of activity on the planet, on in that area. A lot of different kinds of energies. And I'm sure that's part of it is because of the kind of, work James does. James' work is open to that kind of experiencing. And so yes, there are all kinds of presence there. My work is a bit different in the sense that I've accepted that everything is there on all different levels, and I've had many different kinds of interesting experiences, but then it's not my major focus. So I tend to launch into other areas, but I'm totally acknowledging and accepting of the many realms that exist right here.
But you haven't personally seen a cryptid or a ghost or anything like that?
I've seen. Yeah, you've seen. Again, I have to think when you ask me because they've happened in my life, but because I haven't really placed a lot of emphasis when they happen, they've happened, and then I just kind of move on. Oh, I've had all kinds of interesting experiences. I've had. There was one incident. You mentioned ghost. There was one incident I remember some years back where I was in my room. I was sleeping, and then I had this really cold draft. I had blankets on, and it was warm. It was very warm, and suddenly it was like just an iceberg of cold air swept right across my feet under the blanket, and it made me jump. I jumped up, and I could sense some energies in the room. But I was so tired that night that I said, this is what I said. I go, I don't know who you are, but I'm going to tell you right now, I'm really tired and I really don't have time to deal with you.
Presumably.
And I went back to sleep. I was like, and I was so tired. I was just too tired to even be scared. I was like, I don't know what you want, but I'm telling you right now, I'm tired and I just don't have time. Basically, I don't have time to play. I don't even have time to be scared. So you can sit around if you want to, but I'm going to go back to sleep. So, so I've had that, and I've had, the man in the black cape, which many people have talked about, which I didn't know. that other people really had that when it happened to me. Again, it's usually when you're bedtime or you're sleeping, and I was this shadow, this thing with the cape and the whatever, it was a male image, shadow, was coming towards me, like he was going to lay on top of me. And I immediately, again, this is my personality, I immediately used some choice words in telling him to get the away from me right now. He just disappeared. And, what I've learned is a lot of this stuff, you have to command. You have to be solid.
Yeah. Right.
On your command. Like there's no waver, and it's like, boom, that was it. It was like, out.
You have to be resolved, right?
Yeah.
Through and through. Do you think that's why people invoke goddesses or saints or Jesus? Because it helps them get to that point of truly believing in the moment?
I think so. I think that we often need some sort of, I'm going to use the word crutch, but we need something to support us as we get stronger. And plus we are we're programmed to not really trust ourselves either. So it's easier to have this in between. And with whatever, whether it's saints or like you said, or Jesus, there's an in between that you can trust, right? But you can't really trust yourself. But you took all of your trust and invested it in this being or essence, and that makes you solid. Because other people do that with demons. They just call in the name of Jesus, to get rid of whatever it is. So in my case, though, I do feel solid in myself. Like I get it. I know that I'm like everything in myself. And so I just come at whatever it is, like, this is completely unacceptable. There's no conversation or argument about it. It is just, there's no invitation here. That's kind of my stance. There's no invitation.
Right.
And I've had running across my leg. I've been in bed sleeping, and my husband is laying next to me, and he's out. And the next thing I know is I feel like, when somebody is like a child in the bed, but it didn't feel like that. I'm just saying how children run across the bed. Like somebody run across the bed and just stepped on my ankle, while I'm sleeping, and I jumped up, and I thought, did my husband, did you just step across the bed? Because that's what I was getting ready to say. And then I realized he's fast asleep. And so it's again, it's just all kinds of experiences.
Yeah. Well, for someone who doesn't emphasize that in their work, I mean, you've just clearly had numerous experiences. Do you think it's
lots.
Because you're focused on spirituality and being comfortable within yourself, or what do you think the trigger is for that, or allows that to happen?
For things to happen?
Yeah.
I don't even think they happen to me as much as they happen to other people. I think that I think they happen to I think more people have experiences than some may remember. Sure. But I think it's happening all the time. I think it's just a matter of how much attention we're paying. For example, you're sitting and you're watching TV or whatever it is you're doing. And then there's movement, in your peripheral vision, like something just went by.
Right.
Now, most people will go, well, maybe that's just, my mind. And then you brush it off. But I'm fully aware that, in that moment, I just picked up whatever it was moving by, or scampering across the floor, just whatever it is, small, just moving across the floor. Yeah. So seeing those things, but I'm so completely accepting of the fact that I am sharing space. We're sharing space with multiple realms of different kinds of beings, or different kind of essences. Just so much going on. different frequencies. The frequencies separate the space. That's all that's dividing it. And every now and then we catch a glimpse of things that are happening. And I think the more that we are okay and more solid in ourselves, the more we will see, because our brains are just wired to see reality as we're accustomed to it. Right. So anything outside of what our normal is kind of tends to freak us out.
So like our filters are temporarily not functioning, and just for like that flicker of a second, something kind of comes through.
I think sometimes when we're relaxed, it's like you're more relaxed. It's kind of like, they say, spirits, like drinking wine or drinking alcohol, how we tend to be more open or even more vulnerable a lot of times, because your defenses are a little bit are more down. Maybe you're more relaxed. But I think it's being able to go ahead and to know that there's a lot going on right here in this moment that I am not seeing. And the more we accept that something did move by, is the more clearly, yes, we will begin to see that. I see the energy field, don't ask me why, around vehicles. And I've talked to this author, she's a synesthete also, and so we talked about that synesthesia, my seeing the energy field around all kinds of vehicles. I thought other people saw it. I never really talked about it when I first realized that I would see it, but I don't see it. It's not looking directly at a vehicle. It's your peripheral vision that picks up a lot more than anything else. And so it's normal to see it. I see spirals in the ground at different times. I will just see, the golden mean. I will see it in different things, but it's like all over. It's everywhere.
What is it? What are you looking at? Like all these things, what are they?
Well, I think these are just patterns. I think they're just patterns. What's the other word for the golden mean? For fractal, you're dealing with fractal geometry. I think that is like the pattern that is it's like in everything.
So you're kind of seeing through the facade or the construct into the.
I probably so. Yeah. I mean, I'll see it in sand. I mean, I could be any moment now. I'm not looking for it, but then there are times when it's more prominent where I look and I'll go, wow. It's like I'll see. Now, if I zone in on it, I can see these patterns. They're like everywhere. But then most of the time I'm in my matrix mind, intentionally in my matrix mind.
Oh, they're making a Matrix 4. Did you hear?
Yes, I heard that.
Yeah, and Lana Wachowski's directing, and the original cast is coming back. Yeah.
Wow, that's going to be interesting.
I know.
I want to see, where they take this is going to be just so fascinating. That's really, really cool. Though we've had some really great films, though. Since then, because we were just talking about it the other day. That 13th Floor came out the same year. Dark City.
Those are great
films. And The Matrix. So something was happening, is it 1999? Yeah.
99.
When all these things were coming out. Now we see most of this is coming out now through like Marvel and DC. Well, the movies that we're seeing, lots of great stuff that have been put out now.
Yeah, and I think the Marvel movies have evolved a little bit. They've become a little more sophisticated. Which is good. Doctor Strange has a movie coming out. It's going to deal with time and multiple dimensions.
Oh, yeah.
I love that. Yeah.
All that stuff. Oh, my gosh. I love it. And what the beauty of it was, these were things, because some people go, is it, you saw the movie The Matrix. I'm like, look, I wrote this stuff. I was writing this stuff
Hmm.
like way before that movie showed up. I mean, I've been at this since 1992.
Yeah.
And so for me, when I saw this, it was like, wow, this is stuff that I have written. And and of course the internet was still kind of whatever in 2000, 2001. But now I have articles that go back to maybe like 2001 on my website. I just kept everything there.
No, that's
But
smart. Yeah.
yeah, well, I kept everything there because I'm okay with people seeing my own progression. I've grown obviously since that time, and you can see it in some of my writing.
Sure.
But I love that this is where we are now, and I think it would be fantastic if more people realize that the only reason why they're able to write movies the way they do is because these are things that are in the human, not only the human psyche, but are in the human history program. It's all connected to, information about who we are, what's possible, and the overall design of this space that we call reality. It's all just not, I don't want to say, well, duplication, replication, but it is all showing us this information and showing you the human design, the possibilities for the human technology of the body, the brain, the mind. We see Lucy, the movie Lucy. So many of these films that are showing us what the potentials are for a human being.
Yeah.
What's possible, what's coming, not only what's the potential, but what's coming. Telekinesis, telepathy, teleportation, those three.
You believe all that's coming?
Oh, all of that it's absolutely possible.
Yeah.
It existed once upon a time. This is the thing. All of this information is already in us, but we went through obviously a period where there was a lot of change that happened. First of all, it's important that people realize that in order to be a human being, it's not about just coming in at your ultimate of all your magic and all your abilities. But to be a human being involves everything that the human race has done and experienced. It's not a biased experience where we're only going to do these things. We're only going to do these positive things, and we're only going to do these things where we look at ourselves as powerful and magnificent. In order for that to even have the kind of value that it would have, we also needed to experience the complete opposite, because the complete opposite is now allowing us to go through the journey of building ourselves back up to those capabilities, and to understand that this is an amazing technology, and how the interface of the brain, how it all works together to allow, all of these amazing things that happen.
Yeah, well, I think that we all have that sense inside of us that there are aspects that we can attain that we just haven't gotten to, but that's it. Time is up.
Yeah, it's like, here we go.
Yeah.
And there are some folks that, I'm clear with that. It's like there are some folks that's not their journey. And I think all of that is so important for us to understand, because a lot of times people have the sense that everybody is going to be in some major evolutionary shift. And no, people are shifting according to where they are in their own evolution, because they're here on their own agenda. And whatever it is that this journey requires for them, they're doing that. So I don't see that everybody necessarily, as we like to see it, is going to be in this space.
Sure. Yeah.
First of all, I always say there is no running out of time. And there is no such thing as anybody being left behind or any of that.
I mean, that's encouraging, because I think there is that fear of being left behind.
There isn't. And then if you look at what science says about past, present, and future, all existing at the same time, it becomes a bit of a contradiction for us if we say that, but then we confine possibilities in terms of human beings to a set concept. Like if everybody doesn't get on board, then they're doomed. That just takes us back to the religious program of going to hell if you don't, give your life over or your heart over to the Lord. We're running the same program, and we have to realize that the reality that you're experiencing, that we're experiencing, it does not mean that this is the ultimate version of reality. Which is why I like the movie 13th Floor, or movies that are pushing the idea of not just parallel real universes, but they're showing you that their realities or versions of reality shades over it, that it may look the same, but it might be completely a little bit different.
Right.
What we're interacting with our choice points. We are landing in a version and interpretation of reality based on where we are, each person, where we are. And this is clear because this is the reason why you are not in touch with every single person that you have ever met in your whole life, from you were in kindergarten or preschool. You don't even remember a lot of those people.
Yeah.
Those people are living different versions of reality. As tough as it is to even fathom, even as a grown person, people leave your life and then suddenly you're like, oh yeah, I remember I used to know this person, because you forget about them.
Yeah, and it comes back. It's like, whoop, oh, that's like a whole new thing.
Exactly.
It's not new. It just feels new. Yeah.
Right.
Sonia, thank you so much for joining me. I really, really do appreciate it.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure, as always.
Yeah. Any last words of wisdom you'd like to leave people with?
To just be open and to trust yourself, and to be curious and to commit to that curiosity.
All right. Perfect. Okay. Thanks, Sonia.
Thank you.
Thanks again for joining us for another episode of Coffee and UFOs, two of my favorite things. If you want to find out more about us, follow us on social media, but of course, like and subscribe down below if you appreciated today's content. And for more, thanks again for tuning in. Follow me on Instagram @ParanormalNow or on Twitter, @paranormal_now.